Hello, friends and family. Happy New Year. Happy 2022. We're back with our Family Time Social Emotional Learning curriculum. This is Family Time 90, and we're talking about self-efficacy. We're back to self-awareness for our social emotional learning competencies, and we are particularly focusing in on self-confidence. That is something I see a lot of students struggle with. I see a lot of people struggle with self-confidence. Some of that comes from an okay place. We want to be modest. We don't want to have a big head. We don't want to be arrogant. That's all fine and good. But it's important that we believe in ourselves. It's important that we know we are capable, and we have value, and we bring something to the table, and we can accomplish our goals and our dreams. I'm going to have my students this week discuss a time they have overcome some challenge, some obstacle, and found success. And we all have those experiences. Every last one of us. And we need to remind ourselves that we are capable of that level of growth and change. That any journey we begin is difficult. And I see people shy away from that a lot as we get older. And that makes sense. We get older and we get hurt. We have a database that we can refer to where we remember other times that we failed and it hurt physically or it hurt mentally, emotionally. We remember what it was like to really want something and have it not turn out the way that we thought it was going to. And we want to avoid that pain. There's at least a part of us that wants to avoid that negative feeling. I see it with my students so much, and part of it is the fault of our educational system. There are a lot of wonderful things happening in a lot of classrooms. But as a system, sometimes we set up this format where it's about how do I get the grade, how do I get the mark, how do I check the boxes, for students and for teachers. A lot of times there's pressure on the teachers I have to meet these standards, I have to get all of my students to this particular level. And a lot of the nuance, a lot of the individual attention falls to the wayside. That's part of the reason we do this social emotional learning stuff, because we don't always have a lot of dedicated time to those things. I think there's an effort to have more and more of that. That's important. I'm happy about that. But I think in any subject area, in any extracurricular, we need to spend some time helping our students build some self-efficacy. Helping them recognize that, yes, when we want you to start something new, it might be difficult, and it might be more difficult for some than for others, but that's fine. That comparison is a killer. And that happens so much in school, where students are comparing themselves to others. Well, this student is doing well at this thing. I see it with my own kids in elementary school, other younger students, my middle school students. There's this kind of finding the pecking order and thinking, well, this particular kid is good at this subject, this kid's good at this thing, I'm not so good at that thing, so I'm just going to hang back, I'm not going to throw myself out there, I don't want to get embarrassed, I don't want a lot of attention on me. And I think we have to keep pushing our young people to get past that barrier. To not be afraid to struggle. Because life is often a struggle. We are all going to face challenges. I tell that to my students all the time is If you haven't had to face a lot of hardship, a lot of challenges, they're coming. And you aren't going to know when certain things are going to happen, when you're going to have some obstacle in your way. And I don't want to lower the bar for you. I don't want to make things easier for you. I want you to get stronger. I want you to be able to rise to the occasion and overcome the obstacles. But that is a gradual process. When we push people too far, too quickly, push ourselves too far, too quickly, it's the same as if we're exercising. If we, the first day that we're going to get up and start an exercise routine, try to run a marathon, that's too much too quickly. We have to build to that thing. The same as you're going to climb Mount Everest. You don't do it all in one shot. There are different camps that you set up to get acclimated as you ascend the mountain. We have to do that, but that is the same process of building self-efficacy. Saying, okay, we start this and this is a difficult thing. It's difficult at the beginning, but it gets easier. We've all had those experiences. I talk to my students about when they're little kids. Watch a toddler learning how to walk. They pick themselves up, they take a couple steps, they fall down, they really have to think about what they're doing. And then it gets easier, and it gets easier. And then they get to a point where, barring some special needs, some special situation, where people are just walking and don't have to think about it. It's the same with anything. Learning an instrument is such a good example. Learning to play the guitar. I'm not a very good guitar player, but I've dabbled with it for a long time. You start learning and you have to look at your hand. You have to look at the strings that your fingers are pressing, and you have to kind of count along in your head. And for me, it's very hard when you're starting to sing a song and play at the same time. There's too much stuff going on. Some people are more naturally gifted in that area. Some people really have to struggle with it for a long time, but if you put in the time and the effort, it starts to become automatic. That's how we learn anything, is we go through that cognitive part, and we do it again and again, and we get the repetitions, and we go through the struggles, and we learn, and we adapt, and we figure out how to do things in a way that works for us. And then it's automatic. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to think about walking across a room. We don't have to think about where our hand goes when we're playing guitar, and we don't have to look at it anymore. Again, I'm not a real talented guitar player, and I don't put in tons of time to get a real expert level, but I like to play, and it's songs that I play frequently. I can just strum along, I can sing the song, I can kind of space out while I'm doing it, the words just come out, and my hand's going where it needs to go, I can have my eyes closed and sort of just be in a meditative sort of state. So those little things build some self-efficacy. Like, okay, before I couldn't do that, and now I can. And I think it's important to have those experiences throughout our lives, to realize we're not finished products, ever. A lot of times we get to a point in life and we think, well, this is it for me. I am this thing. And I see it happen with high school students, which, from a perspective of someone who's been out of high school as a student for a long time, we can say, like, oh, they have so much life ahead of them. They should start goals and things that they want to do right now. But it's sometimes easy for a high school student to say, oh, well, I've already decided I'm not good at math. I've already decided I'm not good at this sport. I've already decided this is what I am. Other people are these things. But we don't have to do that. I think it's important to always have that beginner's mind, always be wanting to try something, and understand that we're just not going to be great at most things when we start. And that's okay. If we just trust the process and go through the steps and chip away a little bit at a time, we get better at things. Having some self-efficacy is recognizing that we're capable of that. We're capable of learning and growing and being more today than we were yesterday, and that's it. That's how we accomplish anything, any dream, any goal, big or small. It's the same. We take those little bites. It's the how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time. We take those little bites, we chip away, and if we're willing to recognize that we have that ability, then we have some self-efficacy. When I have students or just other people in general, even adults, they're like, oh, I can't do that. It's like, well, now you can't, because you've given yourself that limit. You have imposed that limit on yourself. And maybe some other people have tried to put limits on you, but that is on them. That is not on you. That has everything to do with their insecurities and how they feel, and it has nothing to do with you. I want all of you to be the hero of your own story, and we like stories about people who had to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. That's what makes the hero. So don't set yourself up as somebody who's going to shy away from the hardship. Set yourself up as that hero that has the obstacles just so you can overcome them. That's what self-efficacy is all about to me. And if you can get to that state where you're not shying away from challenges, where you can start embracing them, that changes absolutely everything. Then you go looking for the next new adventure, the next goal you want to accomplish, the next dream you have that is meant to be brought to life. So focus on that this week. It's a new year, a new calendar year. For us in school, we're ending one semester, going to be starting another. Whether you're somebody who likes to write down goals or New Year's resolutions or not, it is a good time to do a little reflecting on where we've been, what we've been doing, and to start deciding what new paths we want to walk down, where we want to go from here. And it's good if we take a little self-efficacy with us, that we keep in mind we're capable of achieving our goals. We have value, we have something to bring to the table, and that our goals and our dreams exist for us to go get them. Have a great week this week. Let's have a great start to this year. Much love.